they're out.
Okay. Frank, so last night you had the rest advantage over Golden State, and then tonight that flips. First of all, how much do you buy into that? And is there a way to coach mentally with that in mind as you prep your team?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always a chance that that's a factor, but the good teams put that out of their mind. They execute through any potential fatigue, and that's going to be our challenge tonight.
Frank, Anthony Edwards was 2 years old when LeBron was drafted number one. He was pretty effective in the February game. I wondered how much of the scouting report that he's starting to, not take away from Karl Anthony Towns, but how much of it you have to focus on him as he's starting to emerge more and more.
No, he's at the top of the scouting report. He and Towns. Obviously, Towns is still 22 points per game, but Edwards is shooting 21 times a game. Over the last 5, so he's shooting, looking to score on a Bradley Beal type of level. 21 field goal attempts a game would be, I think, 3rd in the NBA. So he's being ultra aggressive and definitely a big part of the scouting report.
Kyle?
Hey, Frank. I'm guessing you don't have an updated timeline on Mark, like if he'll miss more games this week or anything?
Correct.
So just following that up, Mark is going to be missing whenever he comes back, 2 weeks. And, we don't know what that absence is entailed, if he's gotten sick or whatever. But even from just a baseline physical standpoint, he's going to have missed a lot of time. Are you worried about that buildup when he comes back?
Yeah, we'll have to spend the appropriate amount of time, making sure he's getting enough work to be ready to play. For sure, we'll measure how long exactly he ultimately ends up being out, and we'll make sure that he has his legs under him before we throw him back in there.
Dave?
Frank, in your time coaching LeBron, have you seen young players like in Anthony Edwards? We look at this week; it's kind of unique. You have Edwards and you have LaMelo Ball, 2 of the better rookies. Have you seen those type of guys try to go up against a guy like LeBron, use him as a measuring stick, try to make a name for themselves on the court? And if so, how have you seen LeBron handle those situations?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're, trying to make a name for themselves using a measuring stick. I mean, they're just always, I think, cool moments for young players. The first time you get matched up with a player like LeBron James. And, I think it is noticeable when you see those situations. I think Anthony actually cracked a smile after one of his first ISOs against Bron when he played against him for the first time. And you see that. I've seen that the last 2 years with young guys. And, I think Bron handles it well. He just competes, and tries to win that possession. That's as simple as it gets. And, it's just one of those things that's cool for young players.
Dan?
Hey, Frank, you've mentioned this a couple of times, but, typically you come back from the All-Star break and it's like, all right, let's gear up for the playoffs. Like, it's coming quickly. You guys have 30-plus games left. Do you have to kind of remind yourself sort of where you are at actually in the season? Do you have that conversation with your players? This kind of weird spatial sort of time is not what people are used to it being type of thing?
I did. The first meeting that we had post All-Star break, that was the primary message, that we are looking to raise our accountability and tighten things up and really gear up to build the habits that are going to win for us in the playoffs, but that it is an atypical year. This is not 20 games left before we're there, like a typical season where the All-Star break is 75% of the season into the season. We're at the midpoint. We're still in part of the marathon. We really just isolated, I think, the next 2.5 weeks or something out of the break. We had, just a flurry of games. I think after that Indiana game and the 2 days off, we entered a stretch of 8 games in 12 days with 3 back-to-backs. The mindset is to, compete in these situations where we're not going to have a lot of practice time. And there's got to be a lot of mental growth on the film in our team meetings. But we did talk about the fact that we're more at the midpoint than towards the end.
Alan?
Hey, Coach. On Dylan Horton Tucker last night with the 10 assists, just curious how much of that is a conversation you're having with him about adding or incorporating that into his game, and how much potential does he have to be more of a facilitator as well?
Yeah, well, I think he's getting more minutes, with Alex being out, and with that, more opportunities to have the ball in his hands. And, each time he has the ball in his hands throughout the course of the season, we're on him to make great decisions, in particular in the paint. He's got a unique ability to get to the rim. He draws a lot of help, and, at times he forces. So we want to make sure that he's just getting in there, taking advantage of bringing two to the ball and then making the right basketball play, which I thought he did an exceptional job of last night.
Last question, Harrison.
Hey, Frank, with how well Trez played last night, I was just curious, for a guy his size, are you ever surprised by how big his catch radius is? And then I guess just how do you feel like that helps your team?
You say catch radius?
Yeah, like how many balls he can get to for like a less traditionally sized big man.
Yeah, well, he has great instincts. We always joke like he catches everything and he finishes everything. He's got a tremendous wingspan and he's got great hands. You know what I mean? So, I use the phrase catch radius. Not something that surprises me at this point, but probably something that, surprised me from last year to this year. You always get to learn players a little better when you coach them on your own team versus seeing them on other teams. So, it's something that we did to pick up early on this year.
All right. Thanks so much, Coach.
Okay, thanks.